Hmm. Okay, so Rishi, when you say a guide to the channel, are you talking, what channel are you talking about? Are you talking about the channels in the channel bar? In this channel? Okay. I think there, let me just see here. Okay, just give me a second, Rishi. I've just asked the question. I think there's a PDF. And the answer is yes. And so I'll get you a link for that, all right? Just 1 second. Just give me a moment here. How do I get that link to you? Tell me if this, let me see if I click on that. Does that give it to you? No. Ugh. Just give me a second here. Yeah, don't click that. That link won't work. Give me a second here. I can't believe how hard this is. Yeah, I got to put my mute here just for a second, okay? Just give me a second here. I just have to, a couple things I should do. Just a second here. Okay, so I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to get that link. It's a PDF file. I'll have to. All right, just give me a second here. I'm trying to follow another conversation in our tech support. In fact, it's probably time for me to take a break. Okay, it's 12:12. Maybe I'll be back. I'll be back around 12:40. Okay, how about 12:30? Okay, so I'll be back around 12:30. Okay. Guys, I'm back. And who asked me about Rishi? Are you still here? I finally figured out how to get this thing uploaded so you guys can see it, so you can actually see it. So I just want to make sure you're here. Somebody asked a question about description of the channels, and there they are. You can just download it, channel bar descriptions, okay? You can just download it. Just took me a while to figure out how to get it there. Sorry about that. So click on the room drive icon, okay? The half open folder, click on that, and then you'll see channel bar descriptions, click on download, and then you'll have it. All right, so let me answer the first question first, how to create a watch list. Okay, actually, let me answer real first. You can't yet, okay? You cannot consolidate all the holidays into one. That is something that they're basically getting rid of the three, but at that point, you cannot consolidate all the holidays into one. Okay, and how do you keep the triggered stocks from deleting once? I don't understand that question. How can I keep the triggered stocks from deleting? So I think I have an idea what you're talking about. What I do is on the filter, I don't filter at all. So you may have an open and closed. You may be filtering on the open. I'll answer your question, Mark. Okay, how to create a watch list. I just want to, because the watch is a little more involved. Not terribly, but I just want to. So I just want to make sure so you understand that. So maybe what you've done is you've checked open positions. You know, so you're only going. I don't. I have them all open. I don't filter at all. So is that what you meant about the triggered stocks? Because once they're closed, of course, then they go into the closed. So you can have your open and close. I don't do that anymore. I used to have the open and close. I don't care anymore because I want to follow the stocks all day long. The risk on, profit percent. I want to see them all day long. So does that answer your question? Where do I change? Okay, so you see the filter? Can you see that filter? And this is just a drop down. Where it says filter. And then you probably have open checked or something, and just uncheck it. Okay, great. Okay, so Mark, hopefully you're still listening about how to create a watch list. And for anybody else who is interested to know how to create a watch list, just want to make sure Mark is listening. So before I just want to make sure you're listening. Mark. Okay. Here's how to create a watch list. So the first thing you want to do is, and I can't tell you how you want to monitor your watch list, okay? You have to create an alert window or a top list window and in the way in which you want to monitor your watch list. So for instance, I have a watch list called IPOs, you know, or I have an alert window called IPOs. And all I've done is I've just said, okay, show me when they make a new high or new low in either the pre-market, regular hours, or the pre-market. And then I've got a filter in here, has to be at least 100,000 shares. So I can't tell you how you're going to monitor your watch list. So only you can figure that out. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so create your alert window or your top list windows with filters that you want in place. Once you've done that, then just click on symbol lists. We call them symbol lists instead of watch lists. Click on symbol lists. So let me just start a brand new one. New alert, I'll say a new alert window. I'm going to start from scratch. The settings, say okay. I don't want to return. So now we've just got a brand new alert window. I'm going to get rid of that. It's continuing to, just a second, just want to. Okay, 1 second. It's just, there we go. Get rid of the sound. Okay, so I've got a brand new window. Again, you've created it. You know, you've created your alert window you want to monitor. So then you right click, configure, symbol list, create new. Are you doing a top list? Okay, well, let's do a top list then. Doesn't matter. It's the same principle. Let's just say, I'll get rid of this. Okay, let's just say, for instance, I have a top list, and here's my price range, at least 100,000 shares, and up at least 3% from the close. Okay, let's just say those are my filters. In fact, I'll just get rid of this one too. Not that it really matters, but I'll just get rid of that. So here are my filters, very, very basic. Now I want to create a symbol list so that any symbols that meet these criteria are in there. So symbol lists, create new. Give it a name. We'll call it Mark. Okay, pops up. Now I can put, if you've got a list already of symbols, maybe from Excel or somewhere, or even, you know, you can actually take, you can copy it, you know, and paste a list in from your alert window or anywhere else. But bottom line is get them in here. Okay, so you can copy and paste them in here, or you can type them in one by one. Let's just type in Microsoft MSFT. Okay, I say okay. Now, most of the time, when you create the symbol list, it'll move over here, okay, into this column. You see Mark is right there. Now, if for some reason it's not there, it should, but if for some reason it's not there, then you click on Add Existing List and find it. Just have to left click it and it'll move over, okay? And then that's basically it. Because then what you're going to do is, more than likely, this is a drop-down menu, and you probably want to say only the following lists, and you just check it. And once you check it, that means that Mark, then, I'm not going to do it, of course, but that means that Mark is attached to that top list that you created, or the alert window that you created. So I just want to make sure, did I go too fast, or did that, I'll explain what the external link is for. Just give me a second. Make sure Mark he understands what I did. Because then there's one more step I should go over. But that means that once you've created your symbol list, watch list, you can attach it to any window that you create. It's just a matter of right-clicking, configure, symbol list, and and only the following lists, and just check it. So far, so good? Okay. So the next step, because more than likely you will want to edit your symbol list. It's going to be a permanent list. More than likely you're going to want to add or delete symbols, right? So, and here's where it's not intuitive. So you might want to write this down. You have to go to Tools, Symbol Lists, and then you find it. There's Mark there. So Tools, Symbol List, Mark. I just highlight it, just left click it, and then Edit. Now here's where I can delete symbols, add symbols, and then just say OK at the end, and that's it. Okay. Now I should show you one other thing though. Okay, now here's the other thing. Excuse me. You see the hearts we have here? The hearts in the chart. The chart hearts. When you click on a heart, it automatically gets added to a symbol list that we created, but we created it for you, called My Liked. So if you right click in symbol list, you'll notice here there's something called My Liked. Now, at the very beginning, you'll have to click on Add Existing List, and then you find My Liked and click on it, and it'll move over here, okay? So why that's kind of cool is that now every time you click on a heart, it gets automatically added into this My Liked symbol list. So it's a great, and of course, you just like before, you can attach that symbol list to any way you want to monitor it. Again, just put only the following list and check it. So you can have that My Liked monitored by any way you want, in a top list window, an alert window. And so it's a great way on the fly, say, yeah, I want to follow this one. So you could have literally, probably name an alert window or a top list window. You could call it, My Watch List Today, something like that. It doesn't have to be just for today, of course, but, My Watch List. And as the symbols start showing up, eventually you might say, you know what, I don't want it anymore. I don't care about it. Then you just uncheck it. So it's just a toggle. You're going to follow it, unfollow it. So to create a top list window, just new, top list. All right. Now these are obviously, I guess, the default settings that I'm using, but now I don't know what you're going to see. If you click on summary, you'll see the filters that are in place already. There may not be any. I just don't know what you're seeing from your end. But here's where you can go into the window specific. You can search. You might. This one already has a price range. It has a minimum volume. This is an earnings filter, but I can't tell you what you want in your top list window. I can't tell you. I don't know what filters you want. So again, it's just new top list window. And then now is where you will pick the filters that you want. You can search. You can search I wonder, do they have this filter? Do they have an RSI filter? Yes, we do. Do they have, what can I put for price? How do I create my price range? There it is. Price. Add the filter. And you just put in your range. So when you find the filter you want, just highlight it, left click on it, and then add the filter. and then put in the values you want. Once you've created your top list window, then click on the summary, and then you give it a name. And I'll answer your question, Peter. I'll answer the external link question. I just want to make sure Mark is getting it. Because then once you've created that top list window, then that's when you go to the symbol lists and create your new symbol list, watch list. Okay? Okay. But don't be shy if you didn't understand. If I went too fast or whatever, just ask me again, because I know it's a lot to take in sometimes, and sometimes I may go too quickly. So don't worry about asking me again. All right. Next question was the external link. So the external link tools, external linking. So what the external? It's a great tool. What it does is it allows you to link. The number one reason people use it is to link to their broker. Now, again, when I say link, I'm not talking about trading. I'm not talking about auto trading. Forget all that. It just basically links to your broker, so that, I notice I've got it's linked to Interactive Brokers. What does that mean? That means when I click on a symbol, CCRN, it'll link right into my order entry, right into the order entry for my Interactive Brokers. So that means I don't have to constantly type, I click on a lot of symbols all day long. So I don't have to, and so if I want to see the time and sales, if I want to have it in my order entry, I don't have to type the symbol in. It just links. Okay? So that is what the external linking tool is for. Okay, does that make sense? Just a big time saver. Okay, CP, I just have to make sure that made sense to you before I move on to the next question. If it didn't make sense, okay, that's only if. Most of the time you don't need that, but sometimes, like we don't work. The people that we link to, they don't care. TradeStation, most of the brokers, they don't care whether we link with them or not. So it's not like we're working closely with them. So most of the time, you don't need to use a rule. In other words, if you follow the external linking, let's see if I edit the link. You see what it says? While keeping this window active, mouse over the target window, hold down the shift key, and select the window. So that's what I do. I mouse over and I put it right in the order entry, and I hold down the shift key, and that usually establishes the link. Okay. Now, if for some reason it doesn't establish the link, then you have to. Now, Interactive Brokers is a little bit different. Okay, but if it doesn't establish the link, then you have to maybe check the use alternate method, or check the beginning is cut off, because after that it's trial and error. Okay, that's what that's for. Most of the time you don't need to use this, but every now and then, because linking is an inexact science, shall we say. And you'll know it doesn't work. Not working perfectly. Like, for instance, sometimes you'll click on CCRN and you'll only see an example, where so it's cutting it off. So that's when you have to a little bit of trial and error. Now, do we link to absolutely everything in the entire world? No. but most things we link to. Yeah. So the IPOs, I mean, this is what I use, but you know, there are a lot of different websites out there. I just happen to use this one. It seems to find them all. IPO scoop. So I just posted that there. There it is. So again, that's what I've done here with my, I have a top list window and an and an alert window tracking the IPOs. Okay, so again, I just created a top list window, very few filters in fact, no filters. I don't care about having any filters. He says, I want to see all of them. You know, so these are all IPOs. Now, eventually I'll start getting rid of some of these. Some of these are, you know, probably several months old. I'll start to replace them with the newer ones. This one is just showing me when they're hitting new highs or new lows. If it's green, it's hitting a new high with these filters in place. Just a minimum of 100,000 shares. So, but I've attached, see, I've only the following lists, and I've just checked IPO. That's what I mean. I can take that symbol list, watch list, and attach it to as many different windows as I want. No, Peter, but it takes very little work. It takes very little work to do this. I mean, once you know, I mean, all I do, tools, symbol lists. Here's my IPO list. So, you know, this week, I think I've already added them in, the ones that are going to be this week. I mean, it's not like there's 1,000 a week. So you just add them in to your list. And eventually I'll start to get rid of some of these I don't care about anymore. So Adele, there is a layout, but so does that make sense? Let me make sure, Peter. Yeah, it doesn't take any time at all, really. The other thing too is that I wouldn't want just the symbols. I wouldn't want just to see the symbols. Because what I like to do also is I want to see, you know, I want to see who's behind them. Goldman Sachs, okay, I know, you know, this should be pretty interesting. Goldman's behind this one. Goldman's behind this one. JP Morgan, you know, the big guys. Look at this one, and PSN, Goldman, Merrill, and Morgan Stanley. You know, so I mean, some of them, like this one today or tomorrow, I doubt it'll be. I mean, who knows? It might be interesting, but to me, it doesn't look that interesting. So I want to see who's behind it. The other thing I can do is I can kind of click on it to see what they do. You know, what sort of sector are they in? You know, I'm more interested in the bios, because the bios are the ones that, though these China financial stocks have been really good. This is not a financial stock, but some of the China ones have been very good in the last little while. So, you know, it's, so for me, it wouldn't be just enough to, even if I had a way just to copy and paste the symbols in, I do want to examine them. Okay, so sharing my layout. So if you go to, now I caution you again, as I've said, or Ideal, sorry, or Addy 106. I thought it was Adele, sorry. You go to this icon, the Room Drive icon, have open folder, click on it. Scans that I share, all right? So I do have a little layout there that you can load if you want. But remember, it's a layout. So if you have a layout on your screen right now, it's going to replace that layout. You can only have one layout open at a time. That's fine, but just make sure you save your layout before, if you're going to click, and it'll show you. Let me just see what it says here. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not in there. It's actually in here. I put it here. I'll layout for the test drive. I'm sorry. I put it here. But remember, you click on that, it's going to replace your layout. If you have not saved your layout, you will curse me. Okay? I don't want to be cursed at. So please save your layout. Save each individual window, even if you're on the test drive. Okay? And again, it's very simple. File saved. Use that. Now, you can use save layout here. Then it'll save it to your computer as opposed to the cloud. I just get into the practice of saving everything to the cloud, because if something happens to my computer, or I want to load Windows or layouts on other devices, then I just have to load from the cloud. So I save entire layout, give it a name, click entire layout, give it a name, save. Now you can load my layout. You can go to the channel bar. You can load all the, because these are just layouts in the channel bar. These are just layouts. That's all they are. And the other thing, I know I'm repeating myself, but some people may not hear me all the time. But I mean, if you are part of the test drive, everything you do during this test drive week, you'll still have access to it if you take out a subscription later on. And later on could be later on. Could be, next week, next year, next 10 years. And you'll still have access to everything that you've done if you saved it to the cloud, as long as you use the same email address. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about pinning. Well, we don't know. SPX does not show up here, though it does show up here. Now, this is a development version that I'm on. Okay. And, eventually you guys will have this also. But as a chart, no. I got the cool version, yes. It was just released on Friday, I think. So it'll be happening for you guys very soon. Too much music listening. I don't know what that is. So I just want to make sure, I don't know if I haven't answered a question. Just ask again, please. I'm just trying to scroll up to see if I've answered all the questions. $103. Did you? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, I don't know, John. You know, if you've been tracking that, I can't say yes or no. You know, if you have been tracking that and that's what you're paying, then great. Ooh. Okay, so as far as options are concerned, these are the option filters that we had. Now, we don't trade options, all right, but a lot of people who trade options, they can use these option filters to zero in on the stocks you want to trade options with. So these are the option filters that we have. So if you right click, configure, you just search and just type in options. Okay, so we've got some of these are obvious, the call ratio. Options volume today, I wish it were renamed better, but this is the average option volume over, I think it's the last 10 days. This is the options volume today. Then put and call option, so these are obvious. This is the key one, options volume today. I mean, I guess, I thought I asked them to rename these. This is a ratio, okay? That's why it says percent. So basically what that means is, let's say a stock normally trades a total of 1,000 contracts, both puts and calls. And today it's trading 2,000. So if you use the options filter, add the filter, and you say put 2,000 here, I'm sorry, 200 twice, okay, 200%. So that means a stock that normally trades 1,000 would have to be trading 2,000 before you're going to see it. So in other words, it's going to zero in on stocks with abnormal option activity. And you can, of course, put whatever percent you want in here. So I know a lot of people use that filter. They want to find the stocks with unusual option activity and maybe trade them as an option as opposed to the stock. Okay? Who asked that question? Oh, yeah. A deal. Or Addy 106. I can't tell if that's a 1 or an L. But so that's how you can use our option filters, again, to zero in maybe potentially good option trades. Now, normally I break off right around now and I do a video, but no video today, no trading today, so there's no need for a video. So I'll just be hanging around. It's the volatility index, VIX. Yeah. So in other words, you can look it up. I mean, for a more solid definition, but I have to admit, it does seem a little bit weird not to have traded today. You know, it's funny. I'm reading an email from somebody. I don't know if you may not be in the room, saying that you didn't get an alert and yet you got it on Yahoo and real time, which is generally speaking, if you don't get an alert in the alert window, the usual reason is you have a filter in there that's preventing it. And, you know, you think you should see a stock and it's not there. I would say 99.999% of the time, it's because you have a filter in there and you're not realizing that that filter is preventing that stock from showing up. And that's why we ask, say, you know, you get a little upset and we say, well, send us your cloud link, the link, so we can look at look at what you've got as your filters and go, well, that's the reason. This is still pretty good, this TMDX from Thursday. Oh, I also wanted to add that. Okay, I know for a deal. As far as sharing my layout is concerned, I decided not to share this layout, not because I don't want to, but again, because people don't necessarily want a single window. So that's why, you know, I said, okay, you can pick and choose the windows that you want. Scans that I shared, download. So you can see all the windows are here, plus other ones on other monitors you can't see. Basically, pick and choose the windows that you want. But if you did want to start out with a little bit of a layout, you know, this could be one. You can't, Joe. It doesn't work like that. That's like saying, Holly, remember, it's just an alert window with filters in it. Okay. Now you could attach. No, I don't want to confuse the ESG. Holly doesn't work like that. It's basically it's what we call event based. Here's the event. You know, here are the filters. There is the trigger. So this is the overall event. If a stock meets all these criteria, then you see it. We don't know ahead of time whether a stock will meet these, obviously, going into the market day. So, you know, we didn't know that SMLR would be a gap up today. We didn't know that. So Holly doesn't evaluate individual stocks like that. So let's see. Okay, remember I was talking about Zyme a lot earlier? So it has, let's see if there's another one. I don't think is there another one? No. Okay. Talking about the re-entry. So I was talking about Zyme. So there was the alert at 1944, got stopped out at 1917. You can see there's the candle. Surprised I haven't had a candle or a question about the blue arrows. Excuse me. If it's a Holly alert, you'll see the blue arrow in the direction of the alert. In other words, this is a long. It's an upwards arrow. So this was a long strategy. And you see the alert price, 1944 in blue, and then you see the top, 1917 in red. So you can see there's the candle, and it probably almost, I mean, it was up here, and then it just dropped immediately. So it's possible that right on that candle, Holly exited. You can see where it exited the time. Well, you see the entry, and you see the price, sorry, right there. So 1944, 1917. And so this is what I was saying, is that if Holly got back to 1930 at any point, which is halfway between the entry and the stop, you'd get a trigger. So we did get one. It happened at 11:04. So you can see what happened. Holly got back to 1930. There it is, right on that candle there. Now, it didn't do, you know, really, this is not a great trade. You know, even the second, if you decided to in fact, let's see, the second stop was 9:12, so you would have got stopped out again on that particular. But that's the idea, though. The market, it is flattened out completely. 1, 2, 3, almost 2 hours of flat. But that's the idea, that you get a re-entry. You don't have to take the trade, of course. You know, to me, this was chopping around way too much. EOD is end of day. Yes, when you search the cloud, so that's only in your cloud. Yeah, file, load from cloud, and then do a search. It's only things that you've saved in your own cloud. It's your personal cloud. Yeah, I don't, Mikey. I think I don't. All right. Well, considering I'm really not looking for a trade, I would encourage you to keep asking me questions. We can start looking at some of the other channels here. So I do have one. I used to use this all the time. The options play magic. We were talking about options. I don't know what happened here. Must have changed my font or something. But anyway, so what I used to do, used to really use it a lot. I haven't used it that much in the last couple of years, but so looking at stocks, unusual option volume, 300%, 200%, 153 to 150 on the way down. These are moving lower, moving higher. Let me just load, in fact, I'll load the layout that I was, let's see, close, all unpinned. So this was the layout that I was looking at. This is the layout that I'm sharing. Yeah, so this is the layout that I'm sharing right now. Sort of designed a little bit for the test drive. Don't know why this is happening, why I don't have these columns wide enough. Here we go. One of the things, you know, when a lot of people are very interested in swing trading. Now, you know, swing trading is to me, it's a bit of a mindset, but I do understand that people can't necessarily spend all day long in front of the computer all day long and day trade. I get that. But what I would then, no but, I shouldn't say but, really have to get into the habit at looking at a daily and a weekly chart. Okay, let me try to answer this one first from Rick. Okay, so when you say how do you save a layout to the cloud? So for instance, if I want to save this layout, then I say entire layout. Okay, so are you saying, is this is what you're saying? I want to understand what you're saying before I do that. You could have the same name. Is that what you're saying? You could have the same name as say a layout and it'll have the same layout. You're trying to save a layout from a link. Oh, okay. Well, those aren't like, okay, those are individual windows. I just want to make sure if you're talking about from the folder, those are individual windows. I mean, this might be just semantics. So let me get rid of, this layout here. I didn't think so, but let me just see. I may be wrong. Let me just see. Close all unpinned. Want to make sure I'm doing this right.